you mentioned Empire. Now, you had mentioned a while ago that there was supposed to be a drama series that's based around Murder Inc.
Yeah, we Gotti's out in L.A. putting the whole, the icing on that cake right now. But yeah, we're doing a Murder Inc. series, and we got good partners with us, and hopefully it'll be coming to Showtime or something like that real soon. Next year sometime. Hopefully we get it up and running. But yeah, we got Brad Gray and Amy Powell with us, and Paramount as partners, and that's Gotti's baby. I'm just executive producer on there. I got to make sure, the story gets told, right, and shit like that. So, me and Gotti are definitely collaborating on telling the story and stuff. So, it's going to be really dope.
So, is this going to be actually the Murder Inc. story, or just similar to Murder Inc.? So, I mean, is there going to be a Ja Rule and Ashanti and a Irv Gotti character and all that?
Yes, this is going to be the Murder Inc. story. There will be a Ja Rule and Ashanti character, and whoever else is a part of the story. Maybe we'll throw a Vlad character in there. We gotta have a Vlad in there somewhere.
Somewhere. I'm in there causing trouble.
It's gonna be a good 2016.
I mean, do you feel like your main focus is acting now?
I would like it to be. I love doing films. It's very fun, very, very rewarding, and I get to spend a lot of time with my family too when I'm shooting the film. So, that's A1 on my list. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing more film and television stuff in the future.
Well, there was a story about how you turned down Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about that story was that Vin Diesel called you up personally and told you not to do it.
Yeah, Vin, me and Vin are cool and shit, and we was kicking it a lot, and Vin wasn't coming back to do the second one. And neither was Rob Cohen, the director. And so, it felt like, Fast was not going to be the same, Fast 2 wasn't going to be the same. And then me and John was kicking it, and John wanted me to do it. And, I had already booked the tour that I was going on since, I knew that Vin and Rob wasn't coming back. So, I was already making my plans and motions to do other things. And then, so the tour started to get set up, and then me and John started kicking it in, and John was like, "Ja, do the film, whatever." And I really feel bad because I heard through the grapevine, or John did an interview somewhere, and he felt like I was blowing him off, but I got nothing but love for John, man. And I don't want if that was the miscommunication between us or whatever, or the misconception of what was going on, that definitely what it was. That definitely wasn't what was going on. I got nothing but love for John. So,
well, John Singleton in an interview said that Ja got too big for himself. He turned it down. He turned down $500,000. He got $15,000 to be in the first movie. He was really big at the time. I guess Murder Inc. was throwing out hits, and they were making money hand over foot.
Absolutely.
And he was acting like he was too big to be in the sequel. He wouldn't return calls.
Nah, it wasn't that. John came to the studio, everything. We kicked it. You know what I'm saying? I never told John, gave him a definite, yes, I'm doing it, John, and then backed out on him. I never did that. I told John, I don't know. Let me see how this is working. I got this tour I'm about to go on, and and then when the tour got finalized, I'm looking at going out on tour to make $12, $14 million, Vlad. Like, I can't pass up that to get to 500,000. You know what I'm saying? The math doesn't make sense. But like I said, we can look at it now and say 7 movies later, damn, Josh should have did Fast and Furious. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, that's nobody makes that decision. You know what I'm saying? Nobody looks and says, you know what? This franchise is gonna go on to do 7 movies. And let me get my spot now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know these things, So people love the Monday morning quarterback, but it's just something that I ask people what would they have done, and they all say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I did the same thing, so it's all.
Yeah, right. I mean, I guarantee.
And look, it gave Luda a great
million.
opportunity. Luda went and did the movie. Now Luda's been in all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's a great opportunity for Luda. Listen. I'm all for that type of shit, yo. You know how many,
Yeah.
and this is the thing that really it made me mad about the whole situation. You know how many fucking movies that this guy or that guy or this person or that person was supposed to be in and didn't do? You know what I'm saying? Or turned down, or you know what I'm saying? You know how many actors can tell you this fucking story of movies they would have or could have been in and didn't do? It happens all the time, yo. It's not that big of a deal, yo.
Did you and Ludacris ever meet up? And Luda's like, hey man, good looking out on passing on that.
Nah, because Luda,
my man.
Nah, because Luda probably didn't even know it until just now. Like he probably didn't even know, like, yo, that was Ja's role, and you know what I'm saying? Like he probably didn't even know it until John said it. Or maybe John told him during the filming. I don't know, but you know, it's one of those things, man. Trust me, man. Any actor you sit down in this room that's done movies or been offered to do movies can tell you, they'll sit there and say, oh yeah, I could have did such and such, or I was offered to do such and such and I didn't see it and I turned it down, or I didn't like the role and I turned it down. It happens all the time, Vlad. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, when I was at SRC, Steve Rifkin told me how he turned down Eminem and Jay-Z. You know?
It happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Steve Gottlieb turned down Dr. Dre, DMX, Jay-Z. It happens, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it happens, man. It happens.
Michelle handed Beyonce the phone, and she was like, hey, are you gonna come? And that's when I told her, you know I live 45 minutes away from the airport, so even if I wanted to come, that's not going to happen. Like, I'm like, nobody called me? And then she just gave Michelle the phone back.
My favorite thing in the book is letting people know that you got to watch how you treat people, because you can go to a radio station and you can see somebody that's the trash man and you can treat them like shit. And you can go to that same station a year later and that trash man might be the program director.